Italy, and at that point was too focused on the brawl.
Well, Djoko may be caught out here. Wickd is closing in. And misses to keep his verdict massively. That was like at least a second. Trowen drops lower. Pretty is dropping even lower. Has the ultimate very shortly. Might be able to assist Kaze and Djoko as they make their way out of the jungle. Meanwhile, Masterwork roams up from the bottom lane to also provide his assistance. And Pretty going with the Catalyst. Once he levels up, we'll get some of that health back. The red buff has been picked up by Trowen.
Okay. Let's take a moment, settle, and we're back to Masterwork in the bottom lane.
Okay, Masterwork going down here, clearing out this pink ward. I was like a psychologist,
Stop for a sec. Kaze is going aggressive on Wickd. I'll take the play-by-play for now. Don't worry.
We'll swap.
Pretty's picked up the blue buff. He's going back mid lane. You really don't want me play-by-playing for too long on this game, but okay. Oh, that binding again. Like, come on.
SirNukesAlot does not land his own Winter's Bite, but Trowen's here. Big spear onto Masterwork and the lockdown ace in the hole for the long-range snipe. Hans Sammer has to jump away, and Trowen lands another Q. Does not choose to follow up on it, though.
Hans Sammer was like, well, if you've taken one tower shot, you may engage further on me and take another, so I'm just going to E myself here.
Yeah.
Some people look at that and be like, best make it rain ever. No, it was actually fine.
Yes.
It's actually just to get that slow and the extra damage. Went to Trowen there and did the red buff. So
very close.
Was close. Soren maybe looking to engage on Pretty. Had that big burst of movement speed off the Q. Wasn't to be.
No, it was not. That ward was also not to be. And Trowen really wants this one. Nice sidestep by Pretty, but SirNukesAlot being here may deter them. It should, yeah, 1-for-1 in terms of wards, but it was a trinket versus a tracker's knife ward versus a pink ward.
Yep.
And now just setting up for a potential dragon in the future. Pick up the Scuttle Crab, and Trowen goes onto his blue buff. So not too much happening here in terms of the whole game in general. 3-1, Copenhagen Wolves are leading this game. They were leading the last game very slightly for a little while before Millenium caught up and won. So they were winning up until they lost.
Yeah, they were. But in this game, one thing I want to kind of look at, Kaze, is going for the, I'm going to just try and win every trade regardless of how tanky I am build. With the Ravenous Hydra, not opting for the Titanic Hydra that we've started seeing first on Fiora a couple of times in the EU LCS, something that started coming up the last couple of weeks. So, just interesting, he's like, well, you're Poppy, you can deal a decent amount of damage, but I'm just going to lifesteal all of it back and have that faster push as well with the clear from the Tiamat active. Not quite the same as the, sorry, well, Tiamat's in both. The Hydra active as opposed to the Titanic Hydra.
Titanic Hydra is technically worse for Fiora because it gives you an auto attack reset, but it does not combo and cancel animations, which you really want. Mid lane, SirNukesAlot has been CC'd up by the binding. Not quite enough damage. Soren does not land the ultimate, just gets the residual damage. Wickd in this 1-on-1 against Kaze should be able to trade back a little bit of damage. Misses the riposte. Keeper's verdict comes out. Kaze is 1-on-1, lines him up for the E, and now pops the ultimate. We'll be able to get a bunch of health back. Jukes backwards and not proccing another Vital. Maybe the right decision, but it has put Wickd on the run. Mid lane, Djoko dropping low, pops the ultimate just for the knockback it gives.
Oh, Trowen's going top. That could be a dead...
He parries the takedown.
Very well.
Oh, and now he jumps after Trowen. He gets knocked back by Wickd, but Kaze's still on the hunt. He's already used lunge and does not have enough movement speed. Pretty even came with the Whimsy, but it was just not enough.
Yeah, that was one of the teleports he used there from Millenium. They threw a lot to try and get that engage to work properly, but you can see just how much damage Kaze has on this Fiora. Once again, trying to carry Millenium's solo lane effectively, and Millenium right now just are behind in this game. Copenhagen Wolves are ahead, but that is going to turn around as this tower falls.
Yeah, tower goes down, and equal gold, exactly. And now Dragon goes over to Millenium. This will be their second one of the game. Last game, they also controlled the Dragons, but ultimately did not really matter. Hans Sammer and Djoko being locked into the pit. This is a big engage by SirNukesAlot. The Glacial Fissure comes out. That was the Dragon move to Hans Sammer. I actually think that was The E, the Make It Rain after he died, actually picked that up.
Wow,
Yeah.
the posthumous award.
Well, he got it.
He
Trowen will get out of there.
But we're starting to see P1noy come online with his damage now. Still a while away, but he is 3-1. Has that rapid fire cannon. So what we're going to have to look out for is the same thing that Fnatic used in their game. I believe it was against Elements this past week, where it was like, well, we've got this Caitlyn that's going to hit you from like 1300, and you're probably just going to die against it because you get that headshot extra as well. Like, man, it's so difficult when a Caitlyn gets like that 4th item, and then, well, she's just going to wreck everything.
She is. And P1noy, I liked how he itemized. He only just completed the Infinity Edge now. He went for the components into Rapid Fire Cannon and then using that as a multiplier to complete his Infinity Edge. That is the optimal way. It gives you a nice kind of, instead of an instant spike, you actually gradually go up in terms of your power. So it's just slightly more efficient in terms of itemization. So if you do that in solo queue, make sure to build BF Sword and Pickaxe, and then go for your Rapid Fire Cannon, and then finish the Infinity Edge. What does that mean?
That's just me going like, I'm just going to build like 4 Infinity Edges. Don't worry.
The Jhin build?
The Jhin build. Oh, I hope we see some Jhin. Even though nobody's doing that at the moment because it's highly inefficient. Like, if this game goes to 50 minutes, I'm going to one-shot whatever I touch.
Yeah, like Gypsy was in like a 70-minute game. Was like, this is the perfect item build. It was like, well, yes.
Of course.
If you have all the gold to spend.
This is a bit of a troublesome situation now as Trowen is looking for the bottom lane. Gank. Does get the spear. Oh, that could be a dead Kaze.
Heroic charge. Kaze with the riposte slows down
Trowen.
That's enough damage, and now he's got the healing pretty with the ultimate Kaze as well. He'll be surviving just long enough. Dragged into the gravity field, but now trading onto Wickd, who has been polymorphed and is slowed down. Djoko trying to finish off the backline. He's also taken out. Top lane P1noy. Oh, the Piltover actually finishes them off, and then it's 1-on-2. It is shut down by Masterwork. The red buff is not enough as he pops a potion to stay alive. A 1-for-1 in the top lane, and then 2-on-1 over to P1noy.
All the meanwhile, I think Millenium are just going to come out that little bit further ahead from that. I believe they get shut down gold from P1noy going to their team there, as P1noy hadn't died since his kill streak. At that point, 4-2 on that Caitlyn. Gives them the extra gold. They get the fight in the bottom side, which, by the way, Kaze got out of alive. Just with enough time from Pretty shielding, using the Whimsy on him to get that extra dash. So this is the bottom lane fight again. Watch for how Pretty is moving across the map. He knows Soren's going to beat him there, but all they have to do is kill Trowen, and they get the heal to come back in there. Pretty even flashes in to get in range to keep Kaze alive that little bit faster. From there, it's just the return damage from Millenium, and this is where we jumped up to the top side, so we didn't catch the end of that fight. P1noy just, man, between that ignite from Morgana and the pool, a lot of damage.
Is a lot of damage. That's what a 2-item AD carry does against a 1.5-item AD carry. The spike you get from 2 items is really, really big on particular champions like Caitlyn. And then you hit like another spike in a couple items time. Like, knowing how to play around your spikes as an ADC and just any champion in general versus other champions is such a big deal in League of Legends and is sometimes overlooked.
It really is. That's really where one of those big differences comes. You know, we were talking to Vanda on a different topic here on the LCS about support itemization. Very quickly to touch on it, we've got the Frost Queen's claim actually completed by Masterwork because they're relying on these solo catches. Like potentially like this one going to get away from them.
Ultimate in from Djoko, finish the Steric's Gauge, and that'll be giving him an extra bit of survivability, but P1noy should be able to finish him off here with the last auto, like the headshot coming out of the bush, but Masterwork now coming in, turning it around. Kaze should be able to finish off P1noy as well. Comes in with the last Piltover Peacemaker onto Handsammer, is ultimately not going to take him out, and Djoko with the 1-for-2 as he goes down, taking out P1noy and SirNukesAlot. So Millenium catching up and getting ahead in this game, over 3,000 gold ahead of Copenhagen Wolves now.
Oh, they got another binding, but this one they can't do too much from. But it's slowing down Copenhagen Wolves from getting to this turret. Keeper's Verdict was just used.
Yeah, it was used on just one caster minion. Trowen will be backing off, and the tower is dead. They actually just had that tanked up by Kaze, so the minions are staying alive. And that's an inner turret taken away. This is quickly snowballed out of control.
And you can see what Millenium are having to do here, or at least trying to, and it's working for them, is the same thing they did against Renegades Banditos in the qualifier, which is reactively play around what their opponents are doing. Wolves going for these solo catches, and Millenium with their double teleport, their ability to cross the map pretty quickly. They're just saying, okay, well, we can turn these fights. As long as we don't die right at the beginning, we can actually turn these engages. Like, again, they've put damage down onto Trowen. Much more damage than Copenhagen Wolves just put out with 4 people.
Really just well here by Millenium. They find advantages in places that other teams don't usually find them. And it's kind of weird to play around or flash over the wall. Trowen will sidestep very nicely, but Handshammer should be able to follow up with a kill. That was 2 flashes burned for that one. But a kill is a kill, and Millenium usually do find pressure off taking small advantages. Maybe they can make something happen in the mid lane now.
Well, where we may see that come into effect now is if P1noy is able to just get free auto attacks down without flash. Very difficult to break the auto attack radius of a Caitlyn as she's chasing you down, especially if she can manage to get a red buff. Oh, binding onto Soren.
Ultimate comes in, and there's the bullet time. Djoko looking for the follow-up. Doesn't quite kill him. Wickd now comes in and knocks up Pretty with a keeper's verdict. He has not used the ultimate yet, but now Wickd jumps in. That last possible moment baits him with the wild growth, and Djoko, he's not going to go down. He already has the spell shield coming up. And now Kaze, once again, I feel like we saw this last game, is just going deep. This time will be shut down by Soren. But of course, Masterwork is there, so he's going to land the binding on you. Spear does not connect onto anyone from Millenium. And that is another inner turret going down with a 4-for-1.
Oh, it may not be done yet. They're looking to push, but at first glance, I oh, Djoko.
Trowen wants it.
I feel like Wickd actually helped Pretty with that ultimate, making him untargetable under the tower. Oh, they bait him onto Djoko.
The heel bait, man. Trick the summoners.
Whew.
To be fair, that was the second to last summoner from Millenium. But
is their bag of tricks empty? Nope, I don't think so. Right, that was a long, extended fight, and it all comes from that first binding. So Handshammer gets his ult, pretty much free reign onto Soren until SirNukesAlot kites back. Djoko couldn't quite connect with the collateral damage to finish off Soren, so that's what extends the fight. You could see Wickd. The tower actually died, so he didn't help Pretty out that much. That timing was what I wanted to double check on, and we got our answer on that one. Kaze, once again, diving under the tower. I mean, he's even fine that Soren picks him off there, because the rest of the team fight is already a done deal. That's already Millenium coming out ahead.
So far ahead now, like over 10,000 gold. That's all over the last like 5 minutes. Like Copenhagen Wolves had the advantage in the early game. Absolutely insane.
I think it's very telling of the level that Millenium are at compared to the other challenger teams, when you can see that they're not only able to play while ahead, which, you know, is typically easier, but also from behind when it comes into the early game. Like, they weren't ahead in this early game. P1noy was heavily up, but now he's just kind of having to run to his base because there's a Fiora that's chasing him down, and Copenhagen Wolves are now firmly on the back foot. And it's all from Millenium turning this game around off a couple of reactive plays.
Kaze's flash just came up, so next time that happens, he will kill P1noy. There is no question about it. P1noy, that was actually a really good timing flash from him. He did it just as the lunge was going to connect. So because it didn't connect, it didn't give him the cooldown reduction, so he couldn't stay on top of him. But now NukesAlot is coming in for Trowen, with Trowen. And Djoko is just so tanky. He's picked up his core with Moore and Sterax, meaning you just straight up cannot be bursted. And once you have the lifeline passive coming in from Moore as well, you just get all of your health back. You just go to a camp and just farm, and then full health again.
That passive is it's pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, keeper's verdict.
Here, stop
very
Baron.
much.
Ah, thanks. I didn't even have to quick draw.
I mean, it was funny, but like that highlights a problem in this game. Wicked's keeper's verdicts have been very hit and miss, and mostly miss in this game.
I mean, there are only 2 options with it. I guess there's hit, miss, or hold. It's like a game show.
Well, he didn't pick the right one on this one. Kaze will blow up Trowen. He's actually just going 2v5. He dies, but it looked awesome for a small while. Masterwork looking for the disengage as Pretty comes in as well. The 2 AD carries are on Baron. Ultimate coming across Handshammer. Oh, this is intense. They should be able to pick it up though with the smite as Wickd comes in. NukesAlot following after, but they just walked right into a bullet time. And Masterwork is trying to land one last binding to line someone up.
It's got
gonna be on P1noy.
Oh.
3-1, and now the chase continues. Handshammer sped up with the whimsy. He'll be chasing onto NukesAlot. One more auto attack over the wall, but no vision, unfortunately. Timing out from the red buff, not quite enough. But now with the siege coming in from the mid lane, Millenium almost certainly will pick up the win.
Oh man, if there was one hope left for Copenhagen Wolves, and that was their Fed Caitlyn on P1noy, and one binding pretty much is ending this game. They had the Baron buff and were probably going to push pretty quickly anyway, but that is going to be the end of it.
P1noy, you were the chosen one, and Millenium now in this 1 versus a lot. They're just going to kill the Nexus. They don't even go for kills in this one. They just want the 2-0. Millenium stay undefeated.